All right, I'm coming online here and just want to get some more viewers in here before we get started. But we do have a tornado warning to talk about. I'm going to get some eyes on this. And yeah, so we have a tornado warning for Charleston and Colleton and parts of Beaufort County. And this is going to go until 10:15. We have just a rain band with a conga line of supercells, as we like to call it. We are getting a new sweep in right now. Um, and we'll let that go here. So we have the new sweep coming in, and we have three supercells kind of lined up back to back. One of them coming ashore at Edisto Beach right now. Let's go to the velocity view here and getting a new sweep of this too. And you can see we have 1, 2, 3, 4. We have four of them, four velocity couplets here. Let me do the telestrator. And 1, 2, 3, and then maybe even 4, maybe 5. Certainly this could be a very busy evening on the weather desk, as we have numerous circulations that are coming ashore or about to come ashore. We have another one coming ashore at Edisto Beach right now. Let me do. And then get that there. So thanks everybody for joining here. Jared Smith, the Carolina Weather Group, Charleston Weather. We're going to do we're just getting some notes out there real quick and talk through this tornado warning. And again, kind of what we're looking at, we have multiple circulations that are coming ashore right at Edisto Beach right now. Kiwa, Seabrook, you're in on this. Seabrook Island, Kiwa Island here. Here's this very strong area of rotation. We've been keeping an eye on this for a little bit and had a feeling that this was going to hold on, and it certainly seems like it is. It's coming ashore right now at Edisto Beach, and so we need folks in that area to be getting into their safe place, lowest floor, interior room. Put as many walls between you and the outside as possible. Looking at some other sources of radar here, I can see that we are getting a very strong tornado signature here. It's a very strong tornado signature. We'll go to the analyst here. This is a 4-panel view, taking a look at a correlation coefficient. We're taking a look at rotation. We're taking a look at all the things here all at once. And as you can see, we have a very strong area of rotation. There, we have another area of rotation that's moving inland here, and the 11% tornado probability on it. This is moving in a little bit more inland, but right now the good news is that when we look at correlation coefficient, we don't see anything, and it looks like it might be shearing out a little bit. But this is the one to watch right here at Edisto Beach. And so again, we're taking a look at that. This is a very strong circulation. It's about to come ashore at Edisto Beach. There's Edisto Island, there's Seabrook Island. So again, if you're at Edisto Beach, Edisto Island, you need to be taking cover right now. In fact, the tornado probabilities are increasing on this, and now up to a 45% probability that there could be a tornado could form in this storm. So we're watching this very intently right now. As you can imagine, we'll switch back over to the WS3 WSV source here. So again, there's your rotation here. Let me turn the telestrator off, clear that out, zoom out a little bit, because what I want to do is I want to show you all kind of what we're dealing with here. So we're dealing with the conga line of supercells. So this storm, this storm is, we have a band of rain. Basically, we have a very strong rain band coming ashore here. Very likely a tornado coming ashore here at Edisto Beach, pretty much right as we speak. And so we are doing that. So we gotta watch that very closely, and we have a couple others that are going to come on. So Seabrook, Wadmalaw, maybe Ravenel, Jacksonboro, you should be keeping a very close eye on this. This is a very strong rotation that's coming ashore at Edisto Beach right now, and we're watching that other radar source to see if the correlation coefficient starts to drop. And that correlation coefficient basically is lets us know whether there's debris being lofted, and that's that's something that we watch for to see if there's a tornado that's touched down. So we'll be keeping an eye on that. I've got a lot going on here right now. As you can imagine, again, we have a conga line of supercells. We have a considerable flash flood warning in effect as this line is going to move into the Charleston metro here in a little bit. But right now, our main concern is this area of rotation here. We're going to go ahead and turn the velocity. Let's go back to storm relative velocity, and yeah, you can see there's at least two circulations here. There's two pretty solid circulations here. We'll telestrate once again, and yeah, there's one. And there's two. The stronger of the two is just now coming ashore at Edisto Beach. So again, we need folks in shelter now on Edisto Beach, Edisto Island. Need you in a safe place. We need you in a safe place now. This is and you may need to stay there for a little bit because we may have another one trying to creep up on you just offshore. So again, at least three circulations right now. Two of which are on land, one of which is getting close to land, and so we're watching this closely. And what we're going to do as well is, if I'll give me a second here, I'm going to go ahead and get I'm going to get an Instagram audience going here as well, so folks on Instagram can watch our coverage as well. So give me just a second here. I'm going to create that. But again, what we're seeing right now is a very it's a very serious situation. One, it's nighttime. You can't see these. You're not going to be able to see them. Two, it's these are going to spin up and spin down really fast. The kind of a blessing that we've been able to see these for a while. It's kind of interesting. We may not have been able to see them at all a half hour ago. The radar was down, and so kudos to the Weather Service and their and what they're doing to get these radars back up. And it was just heroic work by the electronics technicians at the Weather Service in Charleston to get these up. But yeah, here's your rotation right now, just right around Edisto Beach here. Let me zoom in real good on that. Actually, we're gonna just take this in here. I'm gonna start labeling some roads. Let me get that out. And where did it go? I always move it around here. I think it's on my stream deck. Here it is. All right. So yeah, so Fishing Creek Drive, Palmetto Road, Fishing Creek Drive. You can't see that very well. This is going to head towards Bailey Island Lane. Whoop. This is going to head towards Raccoon Island Road. This is Bailey Island again. This is a Peters Point Road. You're going to be kind of near this. Again, we have several. This area rotation is very tight, and there is a debris signature on this. This is a confirmed tornado. There is a tornado on the ground doing damage right now. There is a tornado on the ground doing damage on Edisto Beach right now. So again, this tornado is down. Let me go to the debris signatures here, and we're getting a new sweep. And there it is, right there. There's your debris signature. And so yeah, so we have a very, very serious situation now with the tornado that is down. We have a tornado down doing damage, very likely doing damage just north of Palmetto Road, approaching Peters Point Road, Bailey Island Lane, Raccoon Island Road. This tornado is down. This is real. This is confirmed. So we need folks to be really on the ball here to get into a safe place as quickly as possible. This is an urgent situation, and we've got to. This is a very, very, very serious situation here, as we can see. So again, let me finish up here to get this over to the gram, and let me. I just got a lot to do over here, as you can imagine. But we're going to do this in a way that's formatted properly for the service, and I think that's very important. So again, we're just getting a new sweep on that debris signature. So we're going to watch this debris signature. We're gonna keep a close eye on this debris signature here. It looks like it's weakened a little bit, but still, I wouldn't. It might be going over Marsh. It might not be picking anything up. So let me go ahead and welcome in a new audience here. Give it just a second here. All right, we are bringing in an Instagram audience right now on the Charleston Weather Instagram page. Jared Smith here. Charleston Weather, we are tracking tornadoes. We have a tornado warning for a confirmed tornado that's approaching Bailey Island Lane, Raccoon Island Road on Edisto Island right now. So again, we have a tornado on the ground, as evidenced by the debris signature right here. We have a drop in the correlation coefficient. Go ahead and get that along with velocity. And so there's your velocity couplet right there. And then we have, and then there's another circulation right head on Teals too. So we'll see what that does. Another circulation has moved inland and kind of weakened, so we'll be okay there. But again, right now, the main concern here is going to be for, the kind of the just north of Edisto Beach here, right on Edisto Island, Bailey Island Lane, Raccoon Island Road. If I'm calling out your streets, you need to be in shelter now. There is a significant rotation showing up on radar. There is a debris signature that indicates that this tornado is down. So again, once again, I'll go to the debris signature here, and it does not look good right here. So here's this debris signature at the end of Peters Point Road. So again, if you're in Edisto, in these areas, you need to be taking cover immediately. And if you know somebody out there, give them a call, because again, we can all help each other tonight. It's going to be one of those nights where we're going to run into issues. And again, we're getting new sweeps every 60 seconds, which is wonderful. That'll help us keep tabs on this tornadic circulation. The debris signature does seem to be weakening a little bit. Looks like we're losing it a little bit, which is a good sign. Hopefully that means it's lifted, but there's still a drop in the correlation coefficient right here over Bailey Island Lane. So again, we're a little concerned about that, and so we're going to continue to monitor that. But right now, Bailey Island Lane, looks like there could still be something there. We're going to watch this to see if it ticks back up. With any luck, it's going to continue to weaken as we get these ashore. The instability has not moved too far inland just yet. So that one is something to watch. So the Beaufort, there is no tornado warning in Beaufort. We did have a question about that over on the Carolina Weather Group stream on YouTube, and so we're okay there. And yes, these tornadoes that are coming in off the ocean within the rain bands can move east to west. So definitely a lot to this here. So let me just take a quick look here. We're going to take a quick look again at the at the reflectivity, the traditional radar view that you're used to. We're getting a new scan in right now, literally coming in live as we speak here. We're getting them about every 60 seconds with the mode that it's in, and it looks like the hook that was there is kind of is diminishing. There is still evidence of rotation, and there still is evidence of debris on that Edisto Beach storm right over Bailey Island Lane right now. So again, we got some concerns there, but there are additional supercells out there. We're going to go back to the storm relative velocity view, and we have additional areas of rotation. Obviously, the one that's over Edisto right now is the most potent. You can see that here where the greens meet the reds. It's the wind going towards and the wind going away from the radar here. So there's your tornado signature there. So that's one. And then if we continue to go on, 2 and 3. So we have several in these. We have several in the line here that could potentially cause that could potentially come ashore and produce a tornado. And obviously right now, the main concern is going to be for this tornadic circulation. This is going to mean that this tornadic circulation over, oops, let me clear that. Yeah, and that's hanging on there. That's hanging on there quite nicely as it gets over Bailey Island Lane and Raccoon Island Road. You're going to be next. With this. And so let's go back to the debris here. And there's still a little bit of a depression here in the correlation coefficient. Not as bright as it was when it first came ashore, which is good news, but still there is evidence that something is on the ground here. There is certainly evidence that there is damage, that damage has been done. And again, we just got an update on the debris detection here. And so there's your debris signature crossing into southern Colleton now. Let's see if if that debris signature is still holding there. That looks like this is going to move off of Edisto Beach, and this is getting into southern Colleton now. Let's go back to the velocity here, the storm relative velocity, and we'll get an update on this in a second. But this, I expect this couplet to be moving off of Edisto Island here shortly. So definitely some concern there. Now we are in the problem with the situation that we find ourselves in with Debbie tonight is twofold. One, excessive rainfall. Flash flood warning is out for the Charleston metro area. It's going to be around for a while, I think. There's a lot of rain coming down in this storm. Two, what we're dealing with now, this risk for tornadoes, this risk for brief but still locally damaging tornadoes. And again, we have multiple circulations lined up right now on the radar. 1, 2, 3. So multiple circulations lined up on radar right now, and this is going to continue to conga on, and this is going to move northward with time too. That's the main concern. And keep in mind that it is, guys, it's dark, and so it makes it very difficult to see what's happening here. But I'm gonna put this in motion. I'm going to put this in motion here. We're getting a couple questions on Instagram that I want to get to here. So first thing is, so question about Hilton Head Island. Right now, you're in a tornado watch. You got close a couple times. The main band is lifted north of Hilton Head, but there's still plenty of showers and thunderstorms coming in off the ocean to worry about, especially with the flash flood threat. We're getting reports from the Weather Service of multiple reports of structures damaged on Edisto Beach from the tornado. So again, that was that debris signature that we were saying. Those are structures. That was building materials. That was debris being lofted into the tornado, and the radar picking up on that. So that is certainly a situation to watch. We have we have questions here coming in about Seabrook. Seabrook, right now, you are in this tornado warning, and you should be on guard. You probably should be getting to a safe place. As we continue to see these circulations. There's one coming in just to your south now. So if you're in Seabrook, you need to be taking cover right now. I would definitely recommend that you stay in a safe place, because we've got damage on this. These have been making it onshore. These have been producing damage. So you may need to be there for a little bit as warnings come and go. So again, be keeping an ear out for those warnings. Questions around Charleston Peninsula. So the Charleston Peninsula, this is coming. This conga line of very heavy rain is coming. It's going to get very difficult down there. As you know, there's a curfew out starting at 11 o'clock. So just in the next hour or so, I think the roads into downtown will be closing here very shortly. So that'll be something that we'll need to watch. And so yeah, so this is a situation where right now you're getting some light to moderate rain, but there is some very heavy rain going to come into the Charleston Peninsula, and there is a non-zero chance that there could be a tornadic circulation that moves in. So the tornado risk is going to last much of tomorrow, and again, we are under a tornado watch. We'll go take a look at the one of the things we can do here real quick while we're talking about this is just kind of reset for everybody what's happening, because we are under a tornado watch. This tornado watch is going to go for a little while. This tornado watch goes until 1 a.m. and it could be extended based on what we're seeing here. So, very significant situation here for sure. So again, that's something that we'll need to, that's something that we're going to continue to keep an eye on very closely. There is a risk for tornadoes all across the Charleston metro area tonight, really all across the low country, as you can see by these numerous circulations. This is classic. This is classic tropical cyclone stuff. 1, 2, another one coming ashore at Edisto Beach. Here's a broader one out there. 3, maybe 4. A couple off of Hilton Head now. 5, 6. So again, we have 6 rotations at least on radar just in the ocean. We still have rotation just off of Edisto. That tornado has done damage. We know that because of the radar signature, and we know that now because of the reports that are starting to come in around Edisto Beach. So again, that is a very, looks like it's going to be a very active few hours here. And again, I mean, there's a ton of them out here. We have numerous flash flood warnings in effect, and again, the flooding. Once that rain gets going, it's going to be pretty intense. It looks like it's going to stay intense for a while. So again, you're going to need to be very careful. You're going to need to be very careful. I would definitely recommend not getting anywhere on the roads or anything like that. Very dangerous situation. So again, Hilton Head, you've got a couple things that you need to be keeping an eye on. We have another circulation that's trying to make landfall now at Edisto Beach. We have another circulation hot on the heels of that. So again, this tornado warning continues until 10:15. We'll see if it gets extended. I don't think that that's out of the question at this point. Something that we're going to have to keep an eye on closely here. So again, I think we're getting a lot of questions, a lot of concerns about flooding. We are, obviously that is the main concern. That is the main issue here. So did get a question. You mentioned a tornado warning for Seabrook, and it does take in parts of Kiwa. However, the circulations right now are south of Kiwa. But that being said, as this line lifts north, Kiwa, I think you're going to be under the gun here in the next, for the next couple hours. It's going to take some time for this line of storms to lift north. Let's just kind of do a whole zoom out here real quick. Go to the satellite radar composite. This will be the last 3 hours. Put it in a loop. And you can see that band of rain, that very strong band of rain starting to move ashore here. Now you can see where the tornado warnings have been setting up things there. So again, major, obviously major concerns there. And yeah, I would say that over the next few hours, again, we are in a tornado watch. I would expect that if you're downtown, if you are if you're on the barrier islands or anything like that, you should be paying very close attention to the risk for tornadoes. And so right now, no imminent danger for tornado in downtown Charleston. But that being said, that could change. That could change at the drop of a hat, honestly. And so we're going to be very sensitive to that, and that's very sensitive to that possibility. Get the high res back up here. Still taking a look now. Looks like so getting a report here. Emergency manager, Colton County Emergency Manager reported a tornado sighted on 101 Palmetto Boulevard. Multiple trees down, power lines down, debris on roadways and flooded roadways. So again, this is that again kind of further confirmation there that something has happened. That we have taken damage on Edisto Beach. Again, reports of structures. Things like that. So again, it'll be a little while before we understand the full extent of it. But for now, what we'll need to do is, we'll just need to keep a very close eye on this, because I have a feeling this is going to be going a while. It's just, it does not look, it doesn't look great at the moment. So, all right. So let's reset here. So we still have the tornado warning here, and again, we are here because of a tornado warning for Edisto Beach, Seabrook Island, parts of Kiwa Island. Although right now the main threat for tornadoes is going to be south of Kiwa. You're still in the warning there, heading into southern Colleton County, and this goes until 10:15. So again, we're taking a look at multiple sources of radar here to try to understand what's happening, and we have another very strong area of rotation setting up. Now offshore. So let's go to the velocity, storm relative velocity. This helps us actually see what we can see here. Hilton Head, there's a couple pock marks on the velocity here that is starting to, get close. There's a really good looking circulation. Let's see if we can't get a measurement here. This is about 32 miles off of Edisto right here. So again, that 32 miles an hour. So, and these things are moving. These things are moving about 25. So, we'll have to keep an eye on that over the next hour. Possibly an issue for Seabrook later too. Depends on how that goes. We do have circulation over Edisto Beach again right now. We have another circulation over Edisto Beach as we speak. Do not see any signs of debris showing up on the radar this time, which is good news. But we definitely are quite concerned on this. Getting questions about Ravenel. So Ravenel, you're okay right now. You are not in any tornado warning. However, you are in the tornado watch. So here's Ravenel, Wadmalaw, Jacksonboro. You are in a tornado watch, but right now, no imminent tornado concerns. They're really in the rest of the metro right now. You're okay for now, but again, as this line of, is this strong line of storms associated with the with one of Debbie's feeder bands comes ashore, this is going to be something here. We're getting a lot of reports of thunder. Getting a lot of reports of thunder here, which is a decent indication that that maybe some of this is trying to gain strength here, and we'll see what the lightning mapper says. So yeah, you can see kind of where some of the lightning flashes are happening there. We'll keep that lightning mapper on just so we can understand more about the lightning situation. Doesn't look like any cloud to ground strikes right now based on some of the data that I'm looking at, but we'll certainly keep an eye on that. So again, there's definitely a lot of thunder being heard, and that's something that we're going to have to watch closely. But right now, if you're in Goose Creek Park Circle, we have some questions about that. You're okay. Downtown right now, you're okay, but you are under a tornado watch. So the thing that I'm going to recommend that you all do is make sure that you have multiple ways to receive warnings tonight, including one that doesn't require an internet connection. So a weather radio. Maybe over-the-air broadcast is a really good way to do it. There's a number of ways that we can do this here, and that will be useful. So again, we're just moving along here. I'm gonna over on the Carolina Weather Group side, bringing James Brierton in the conversation. James, we are, as we are dealing with quite a bit of issues down here.
Yeah.
And what we're working on right now, what we're looking at right now is just multiple circulations coming ashore. Are you able to see anything? And again, I apologize to my Instagram audience. If you want to get the full conversation, go over to YouTube. But we're streaming here because this is a place where I can reach a lot of people very quickly. So we're okay. So getting questioned about Johns Island too, by the way. And Johns Island, you're okay right now, but again, you need to be watching this very closely. It is very, very possible that you could go under a warning tonight. The tornado watch goes until 1 a.m. It will probably be extended. If I had to guess, it will be extended. So I think that's because we have this one, and then we have more, to the south. I have to say that this is probably going to get extended.
Jared, you were asking me if we're able to see anything on our network of cameras from our friends at the Carolina Weather Group. And we do have our friends at WeatherStem, which have a camera both in Beaufort and in Edisto Island. As you might suspect, it's very dark outside right now. What we can expect to see from these cameras would be any of that lightning and thunder you were just talking about. But what I really wanted to show by pulling up this camera was essentially nothing, because at night, these things are going to be impossible to see, which is why we need to stress that it's important to go to your safe place and not try to look outside, because it is very dark in a lot of these places. If you are out on the roads, we could tell you right now by using the DOT cameras down towards Folly Beach. This is not necessarily in the warning, but we can kind of get an idea of what the conditions are like out there, Jared. And you can see just how hard some of that rain is blowing in the wind as we look here at Folly Road near Tide's End. Again, this is not necessarily in your warning as I understand it, but just to kind of show people, even in some of the more lit areas, the roadway conditions are very difficult. We'll keep an eye on these WeatherStem cameras. I think they'll be in a good position if we happen to get a well-timed lightning strike.
Yeah. So again, over on the for my Instagram audience, again, on the Carolina Weather Group side, we are watching multiple webcams right now. We have so we have a lot of eyes on the ground, things like that. We're getting some questions about Somerville. Somerville, you're not in the path of this tornado. You are not under a tornado warning. However, again, we're going to watch this to see how far these get inland. When I'm going to go peek at another piece of data here real quick, and when I look at that, I mean, it is certainly possible. We're starting to see that significant tornado parameter come up, and which is a kind of a proxy that we can use. It puts together numerous parameters and basically bakes them into one that tells you there's a risk for tornadoes here. And while that will be increasing, I don't think right now you have anything to be concerned about. But again, what we want folks to do, what we want folks to do here, guys, is just be aware. Keep your phones off silent tonight. Make sure that those phones are blowing up. If you're in a tornado warning polygon, that'll be good. Keep your phone charged. Let's make sure we're charging. If you're using one of the charge limiters on your phone, some of the newer phones have that. Today's the day to turn it off. Let it get to 100%. I'm sorry you're going to cook your battery. I know some of you battery nerds out there. I know I am.
Jared, you may have talked about some of this before I joined you here from Charlotte, but the National Weather Service is reporting that they have reports of damage just across the river from Edisto Beach on Edisto Island.
Yes, and so again, we saw damage. We saw damage being done on the radar, so we were able to tell people that. We're getting questions too. West Ashley is not in the path of the tornado right now. I think we're okay. Mount Pleasant, you're okay for now. You got some heavy rain. You got some lightning here. These will be moving north into the Charleston metro area over time. Again, we'll put this into motion here. And again, as you can see, right now you're just in a lot of rain. There's just some very heavy rain, but this is going to continue to lift northward over time. So Mount Pleasant, maybe 11 o'clock, midnight, things like that. Mount Pleasant, Isle of Palms, those areas, I think are going to start running into some, this is going to pick up. And when this picks up, you're going to have some fairly serious, issues with the rain once this gets started. Now, I don't know why that kicked in. I don't know. I don't need that. Let me get the YouTube link for our Instagram audience here. And what we'll do is, give me just a second here. I had it. It's been a little nuts. Y'all have no idea. I got 5 screens here. I need more. Too many windows, too many tabs. Like I just need more. But if you look at Carolina Weather Group on YouTube, if you want to jump, go there. Check that out. Riverland Terrace, you're fine right now. But again, we're watching these storms, creep up. Here and again, this is going to come in waves. We've got bands of rain coming ashore. This is how these things work. Tropical cyclones feed into their center, and these are feeder bands coming in off of the ocean. They call them that because the heat they release helps to guide the storm. Now that being said, it is on land, it is weakening, but that doesn't do that. So let's see. All right, let me give me just a second, folks. I'm gonna try and get you a good link here.
Jared, you mentioned West Ashley not too long ago. I believe this WeatherStem camera is in that West Ashley area.
Yes. Not far from where I am, honestly, which is kind of fun.
See some of the lightning there.
Yeah, absolutely. So here's what we're gonna do. I've just put a link to the YouTube channel into the chat on Instagram. So what I'm gonna do is, we still have the tornado warning going down here for Edisto. We have multiple circulations coming in from Edisto. If you can join us on YouTube, we're going to have cameras and other things there. And I think what I'm going to do is what I'm probably going to do is actually turn this stream on Instagram. So again, we'll do our best. It's going to look a little weird, but it may be the better way to go about it. So what we're going to do is I'm going to temporarily end this live video on Instagram. We're going to keep going on Carolina Weather Group. I'm going to bring us all in over there. So Instagram folks, hang tight. Be right back. All right, and we are gonna, James. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add my Instagram page here,
Certainly, yeah.
and we're going to get that. I'm going to get that up and running here. So I'm going to get that over there, James. If you want to talk real quick, if you would just want to kind of do a recap and a reset of what we're dealing with.
I could do a little scene setter here as we are now just past the 10 o'clock hour on this August 5th, 2024. This is the beginning of the impacts from tropical Storm Debby, which will bring, of course, a substantial flash flooding threat to all of the Carolinas, especially many of you who are watching Jared's Charleston weather page, and those of you across the Carolina Weather Group network. We are expected to see, after the tornado threat tonight, ongoing flooding threat over the course of the next few days. And we'll briefly show that to you before we go back down to Charleston with Jared. You can just see the latest projection from the National Hurricane Center shows a bullseye right over Charleston. That is pink on their scale, folks. That is 20 to 30 inches of record-breaking historic rainfall from this storm. But you can also see how far inland they're anticipating this tropical moisture to go. Raleigh, you're inside that 8 to 12. Charlotte, you're just on the outskirts of somewhere between 4 and 8. Same thing with Augusta. And so you can see that essentially from the I-77 corridor all to the east, you are in a chance for seeing flash flooding. Of course, the highest risks will be at the coast, and that is what we can see here on the probability. Over a 70% chance that a very large section of coastal South Carolina, the I-95 corridor of South Carolina, maybe even creeping up into the Columbia area, could see a very high risk of flash flooding. That moderate risk at this hour now creeping into places like Raleigh, Charlotte, and Augusta, which is a change from where we were earlier. As we gone throughout the day, the track of this hurricane, now tropical storm, began to move a little bit further off to the west, which would bring that flash flood threat further inland. The emphasis will always be on the coast, but we're watching the broader impact across the Carolinas. Jared Smith at this hour in Charleston is continuing to watch tornado-worn cells associated with some onshore rotation. And while you've got one warning on the screen there, Jared, it looks like you've got more rotation offshore.
Yeah, we got plenty of rotation offshore. You can see this blue line. This has this red pulsating outline. This is a special marine warning for waterspouts. This has basically been a very constant thing. So again, watching that, there's more. There's more to come. We have another circulation right now, very small, approaching Edisto Beach. If there's one bit of good news here, it's that it doesn't look like there's anything producing. There isn't anything down. We had something down. We had something down that did damage. These are not looking as strong. We're not seeing the debris signatures that we were seeing, which is good. Checking multiple sources of radar to make sure that that's the case. And it is, and it's good. And unfortunately, there's not much we can do about the Zoom over on Instagram. I told you it'd look weird, but we're going to do it. But again, we're doing our best. Follow my voice. I'll do my best to talk through it. But again, multiple circulations, they're keeping the tornado warning going. Now, again, this is back to radar indicated because we no longer have a tornado on the ground. So that is one bit of good news. But that being said, we can still see one pop up at any time. We have one rotation here. We have another circulation here that's weakening. We've got this big circulation out here, kind of broad, that we'll need to keep an eye on here. So we got at least 3, maybe 4, kind of 5. I mean, there's a lot here, guys, and this is this is something that's concerning. We now have a tornado warning now for Hilton Head Island too. Hilton Head Island is now under a tornado warning. There are 2 circulations that are coming ashore right now on Hilton Head Island, so we'll need to keep an eye on that as well. And we have a debris signature, James. I think we have another one.
Which storm is this? With the
this
debris
is back
signature?
on Edisto. We may have another one on Edisto. I'm kind of taking a peek at it now. I'm kind of questioning it a little bit. There's not really any rotation aligned with it, but there is a pronounced drop in the correlation coefficient. I'm not sure if that's noise or something else. I think it might be noise, actually. I apologize there. That was looks a little alarming. Let's see if it hangs on. There is a weak rotation, but it's displaced from it, so I'm not sure.
Oh yeah, I see what you're looking at.
Yeah, I'm not sure what the deal is there. So again, Hilton Head. Right now, Hilton Head has got a couple potential circulations coming ashore. Edisto Beach, you still have circulations. Looks like they're starting to, it looks like it is starting to weaken a little bit as it gets ashore, which is good news. We've already had one tornado. Let's not have another. Seabrook Island, that area, I mean, it's close, but right now you're going to be okay. Again, we're getting a lot of reports of thunder and lightning downtown. I'll go back to, just a lot of reports of thunder and lightning. And again, this is, these storms seem to be tapping into some instability. And again, I think the other thing too that I want to also point out for thunder at night, actually ducts. You have a layer of warmer air off the surface, and it will duct it. It will duct the sound noise, so it actually sounds worse. It ducts the sound waves, so it actually sounds like it's going further and further, which is kind of wild. Science is cool. The Weather Service has ended the tornado warning for Charleston and Colleton, so this tornado warning is going away.
That's interesting, because I was just about to say that thing we were watching on CC did.
Yeah, it's still there.
Stay there as it moved.
Yeah, it stayed there. Yeah, they did let this warning go. Okay, we'll see if they reissue. Let's see if they reissue. And so everybody knows what we're looking at. I'm looking at a different source of radar here. Let me switch to the. No, where did it go? Where did it go? You go back. James, is the first time I've had to use this Stream Deck thing live, and I'm still kind of just working through it.
I could pull it up if you need me to.
But I got it. I got it right here. So we've got it in the 4-panel here, and so again, I'm circling it with my mouse. This area right here, this little lowering in the correlation coefficient. This is that's kind of interesting. Not sure what to think about that. Honestly, I don't know. It's not really. I mean, it is co-located with some high reflectivity, but the rotation just isn't there. So I'm not sure if we're picking up on noise or if we're picking up on something else. However, the Weather Service has let that tornado warning go for Edisto Beach. So yeah, and that's now off of. So that's now off the board. So the only game in town as far as tornadoes go, at least right now, could be Hilton Head Island, and we will we'll go back to the main storm relative velocity view here and kind of zoom in on this. So again, we've got 2 circulations that are going to be affecting Hilton Head Island. Let's go to debris. Let's see if there's anything there. That does not look correct. Looks like, is that a graphical glitch? Is that something up with my data? I'm not sure. All right, we'll just pretend that didn't happen. And I think I'm starting to have some data issues with this. So, all right. So there's that. I'm taking a peek, and so we have a couple circulations that are affecting Hilton Head Island right now. Actually moving across the creek into Bluffton, up 278. So if we go, let's take a peek at the storm relative velocity. I'm going to zoom down, and then I'm going to take my telestrator and just kind of circle this guy right here. There's circulation on Hilton Head. It's here right now. Bluffton, tornado warning here. Right now, this tornado warning is going to go until, through the telestrator here, turn that off. It gets embarrassing when I play with the telestrator because then I mess it up. It's going to go until 10:45. So it's moving northwest at 30. See if I can't get some, let me get a storm track on this. So here's your rotations, moving northwest at 30 miles an hour. So I need to zoom this way out. Whoa, it's hauling. And so places like Ridgeland, if this holds up, and again, this is a lot of assumptions that this is going to hold up. The instability is not as good when you get 15 miles inland. It's just not. But Ridgeland at 11:37 at Furman, Scotia at 11:40, Estill at 11:48, Luray at 11:54, and right at the stroke of midnight, Gifford, if it holds up. But again, I'm not completely positive that it will. Again, they're not. You can see that they're not issuing these warnings very far inland. There's a good reason for that. So there's very good reasons for that. We are, so again, we're dealing with, a couple circulations here on Hilton Head. I think, and I'm going to keep an eye on those. And if they start doing something a little bit more erratic, we'll let you know. Looks like one around Port Royal also coming in. That'll be coming just in. Looks like it's just coming in just south of Port Royal. Let me actually do a distance here. So there's a circulation. It's about 11 miles southwest of that, and we have James. There's video from Bryce Shelton.
Yeah, I saw that.
That the Weather Service has reposted just
Okay.
now. That shows the damage on Edista. So again, that is something that that's obviously, unfortunately, a story that we're going to have to follow here. Is the aftermath of some of that. So again, I'm going to take kind of a wide view here. We go to the satellite radar composite, and we can kind of show you what's going on here. I want to show everybody like what's happening with this, why we are here, why we're dealing with this right now. And so there's one big feeder band right there. The center of Debby is kind of hanging around like Brunswick, down there, and it's kind of hanging around Brunswick and Charleston, and so there's a circulation there, just kind of hanging around, and it's slowing down. It's stalling out as we expect, and we have this feeder band here that's moving in. Now we have a really good question here. Joseph's is there truth to the potential myth? And it's not a myth. Hurricane feeder bands spawn tornadoes move quicker and are usually smaller in size. Yes, absolutely. So that is absolutely a thing. James, do you want to rack up the damage video here?
Yeah, certainly. So here's the video that you mentioned a few moments ago. This is from Storm Chaser Bryce Shelton, reposted by the National Weather Service in Charleston, South Carolina. And you can see the debris from the tornado there on Edisto Island in South Carolina. This is Palmetto Road, where trees are down and homes were impacted. This from him does go along with some of the other reports that we've been seeing, just looking so far at what National Weather Service in Charleston has been able to queue up, Jared. Colleton County Emergency Manager reports a tornado there on Palmetto Boulevard. This is right where Bryce Shelton is, if I'm not mistaken. Multiple trees down, power lines down, debris on the roadway. These are from newest to oldest, just working our way back here. More reports of trees down along Palmetto Boulevard. I'm sure that'll be something the Weather Service will be tallying up as we go on through the rest of the night. Also from Edisto Island, this is the Charleston County side. 911 call center reports a tornado. The dispatch relayed a report of a sighted tornado that touched down somewhere near Outback Lane off of Palmetto Road on Edisto Island, with more numerous trees down. A couple more here, Jared, just continuing to kind of report that same area where they're continuing to see trees and power lines down. I'm sure it's going to be very dark out there too now if there's been a loss of power to any of the lighting they did have. And you can even see here, this is it Ryder? They are reporting trees down and the need for chainsaws, and I'm sure this is just the first of many reports that it'll be needing a chainsaw.
Yeah, I'm not surprised in the slightest. And again, I think this is a situation where we've got, this is just one of those things, James, that is. This is a fact of these things, and this was something that we were concerned about, something I've been concerned about for much of the day, and certainly seems that it came to pass here. So again, we have this broad circulation here of Debby, and then again that feeder band, and keep in mind, the other thing that I want to keep in mind, and I just got a note about this, I want to make sure that we're hitting this, is that we are here because of flooding. The big reason we are dealing, a big concern here is flooding. The tornadoes are almost a sideshow to it. We are past high tide, which is good news, but high tide is going to continue to, that's going to factor in over the next few days. It's going to be something that we're just going to have to watch. Multiple training thunderstorms are going to move in over the next few hours into the Charleston metro area. They're going to dump a lot of rain in a short amount of time. So even though the tide is headed out, we are not out of the woods by any stretch. Just because the tide's headed out does not mean that we are free and clear. All right. What I'm going to do, I'm going to make myself a little bigger, actually, because we got the ticker there. So I want people to be able to see me. So yeah, magic wand,
Me too.
Make my meteorologist grow. All right. So we've got questions around James Island, and there is no warning right now. The only warning on James Island is this flash flood warning. We have a very large flash flood warning in effect for really issued well ahead of this. We want folks to have enough lead time to prepare themselves. And so there is a flash flood warning out for much of the Charleston metro area from about Mount Pleasant down 17 through Hollywood into Colleton County, Walterboro, you're in this, St. George, you're in this, Somerville, you're in this, Goose Creek. And you would know if your phone exploded earlier. That's one of the things that happens with these, and certainly happened again. And that is for sure. So again, right now, the flash flood warning is there. We're seeing a lot of, very heavy rainfall here. Let me see if I can't get some of the radar estimates here. I'm going to switch to the precip estimates. And you can see in this band here, this is, I think this is just the past hour, by the way. That's storm total. That was past hour. Oh my gosh. All right. So let's label some of these. 2 inches of rain just in an hour's time. So we get 2 inches in an hour's time here. Let's go over to the storm totals. We'll clear that off, and we'll go to the storm totals. And again, these are just estimates from the radar. This is not necessarily what has fallen. We're going to get a lot of information on that from some of the rain observers, but we've already had potentially 7 inches of rain in Edisto. We've had 3.5 inches of rain just in North Charleston. 4 inches of rain, approaching Adams Run. And so this is what is going to be coming up over the next little bit. And this is what we've got to watch for. This is the thing that we've got to be very careful about, James, as time goes on. And this is only going to get worse.
Yeah, we do have new video in. Bryce Shelton, the storm chaser, is down there again on Edisto Island. You can see what might be some initial storm damage from this tornado. It looks like siding ripped off this home here following the report of that tornado. He's continuing to send back some videos to his Twitter followers. I'll also just show, we were talking power outages a minute ago and poweroutage.us. Of course, Florida tonight, following the landfall of what was then Hurricane Debby, with the bulk of the outages, with over 134,000 power customers without. But in Georgia right now, 25,000. And in South Carolina, 18,000. Most of those right here along the coast where we've been seeing the first impacts. These are numbers that are only likely to grow, Jared.
James, I hate to break in, but we have a debris signature, it looks like. Looks like we may have another debris signature south of Port Royal. There is a little bit of rotation with this, and we have this lowering in the correlation coefficient once again. Having to do a restart of some of our software. It's been that kind of night. So if we go, so there's it looks like it went away. So it looks like it dissipated. Maybe, God, I can't, I have to imagine that there was something there.
Well, I'm also wondering, in that particular scan, I'm looking at my monitor too, it might be over water. So it could have been that it picked something up over land, dropped it,
deposited
when it gets to Paris Island again, we'll have to watch.
Yeah, absolutely. So that'll be something that we'll want to keep an eye on. But again, there's a lot of little, a lot of bits of noise here. And I'm just going to use this to kind of orient me. So another small lowering here, but again, we're not, we're just kind of on guard for these things, because again, they're going to pop up and spin down super fast as time goes on. So, and we'll take the, actually, I'm going to go to a single panel reflectivity here. And I actually think that we're back online on WSV. So I'm going to go ahead and move that back to WSV. And yeah, there you go. So, and let's see. So the I'm just kind of taking a peek here at just some of the questions that I've gotten over here. So again, no warning right now for James Island. You're done there. I think it's noon to get onto the peninsula, so you're going to be waiting a while to get there. Again, there is a curfew that goes into effect in under an hour now for the peninsula, and I believe the city has already closed the roads. That was supposed to happen at 10 o'clock, so that should be in progress right now. Just taking a look at the chat here. What kind of debris are we talking? Debris, some of the debris that we pick up, it all depends. It could be trees, it could be building materials. It depends on where it was sourced from. That is, it can be anything that's not meteorological is going to show up in that way. So, that's something that we watch closely. And this is a pretty good hook echo moving into Port Royal right now, James. I got to tell you, that's still a really good looking hook. The rotation itself is not terribly, is not terribly defined, but yeah, that's Port Royal. Definitely need you in a safe place. We'll see if the Weather Service decides to move this to extend this further north. Now I want to go back to the Atlantic waters off of Charleston County, because we don't have any tornado warnings in effect for Charleston County right now. But for those of you on the barrier islands, for those of you on the barrier islands right now, to be watching these. You got 1, 2, maybe 3 circulations lined up, and these are going to be tracking generally this direction. So again, right now there are no active tornado warnings in the Charleston Tri-County area. Charleston Tri-County area, you're okay for the moment. No active tornado warnings. We have a special marine warning out for the coastal waters here from Folly Beach down to Seabrook, down to Edisto, and that extends out. So we have that. We have that in place. But there may be additional circulations that are trying to come on shore here at Edisto, or possibly Seabrook, maybe Kiwa at some point. So just because you're not under a warning right now, and again, you're not under a warning right now, but I would be keeping an ear out, because in the next 30 minutes or so, if these circulations hold together, we may be starting to deal with one of those. So that's something that we're going to want to take we're going to want to keep a close eye on that. Because again, I'm not feeling good about, I'm not feeling good about what we're seeing. We've already had one down. We did have a question that we had one down that, there was a question about a tornado touchdown in Edisto. Yes, we can confirm that there was a tornado. Well, we can't confirm a tornado. We can confirm that there was damage in Edisto. Probably will be confirmed as a tornado, given the debris signature, given the warning in place. I'm sure the Weather Service will be doing a survey to actually confirm that tornado. But that being said, there was damage done on Edisto with a rotating circulation, with a rotating thunderstorm, and we still have a couple circulations over southern Colleton, but they're not warned at this point. We may need to. I don't know. They may need to get on that. Honestly, yeah, we get. I wouldn't be surprised if they were evaluating this right now. Actually, James, let me clear my telestrator again, turn it off, pan over here. We have a couple of these circulations right here, and I'll move us back to reflectivity, because that is a pretty decent hook echo here. Pretty decent hook south of Jacksonboro, right there, heading towards Highway 17 and the Ace Basin Parkway here. So. Again, no warning right now, but I'm sure that the Weather Service is keeping a very close eye on that, because that doesn't look great. That doesn't look great.
The other thing I'm keeping an eye on is we have a weather stammer camera in Beaufort. So that's very near where we do have the warning active right now. And while it's dark out there, we'll watch for any sign of debris or lightning on this weather stammer camera.
Yeah, absolutely. And we'll be able to keep an eye on that. We have a big network of weather stand cameras all across the Carolinas, which is wonderful. They're great. I saw Ed Mansuri, the CEO of WeatherStam, on the Weather Channel yesterday, so that was awesome. Good dude doing good things. So the only active tornado warning that we have right now is really Port Royal. This is really your system. This is kind of your jam. Go to storm relative velocity. There's still signs of maybe some weak circulation here. Not getting any signs yet on what they're going to end up doing with this, but still something to watch as we get in there. And again, we've got numerous circulations, that are awaiting offshore that we're going to need to keep a very close eye on. Again, we have a special marine warning out to cover these. One in particular is this one in particular that's getting near. It's going to start getting near Seabrook here the next little bit. I definitely think that's something that we should be keeping a very close eye on for the potential for problems. I'm just doing a little bit of
the weather service saying
here.
they're watching that rotation very closely near Bennett's Point. They're forewarning that they may need a tornado warning there.
Yeah, that's and so that's Kiwa, Seabrook. So if you're on Kiwa, if you're on Seabrook, I'm just going to get a tweet out real quick. Actually.
Yeah, I was just going to say, while we have a moment, I just wanted to give a thanks to K-Camp for a $5 super chat on the Carolina Weather Group YouTube channel. Thank you for your coverage is the message.
New
Thank
tornado
you for
warning.
watching. And now we'll get back over to Jared for that highly anticipated new tornado warning.
Yeah, we have a new tornado warning out. This is going to be a lot of the same folks. This is going to take in Jacksonboro, Wadmalaw, Seabrook, Edisto Beach. And let me yeah, so anyway, I hate to leave that as an afterthought there. We're gonna have to leave that be. We're right back in the saddle here. So if you're in Ravenel, this includes you. This includes Ravenel, Wadmalaw, Seabrook, Edisto, Jacksonboro. And again, I'm just gonna read this warning. Yeah, so this is the one near Bennett's Point, James, that you were just talking about. It's moving northwest at 30 miles an hour, and they're also going to just say that this water spout off of Kiwa is another issue here. This is radar indicated, but yeah, this is moving north at 30 miles an hour, very near Bennett's Point. So let me just remove the marker there. Let me see if I can't get some times on this. Let's do that. Where did I? Oh, I have to reload that. Whoops, because I had a crash. I had a system crash, so I got to reload all that fun stuff. So let me get my manual tracking turned on here, and we're going to draw a track from this circulation. And again, we are looking at clear that. Oh, we were looking at northwest at 35, I believe, was the vector that they were giving us. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to do northwest at 35 miles an hour. And so this one has designs. So this particular circulation has designs in Walterboro, Jacksonboro. This is going to get awful close to you. Williams, Earhart. This is going to get right up the gut into Colleton County in particular. See what happens there. And then we have this. And then we have this other one. We have this rather concerning looking water spout here. I'm going to get a manual track on that too. Let me just get that over there, clear that, and do a new manual track. We're just going to assume the same motion here. It's moving it's about half. It's getting pretty close here now. We'll just go about 35 miles an hour to the northwest. And again, so here's the deal. We got a water spout that's going to come ashore. Seabrook, Wadmalaw, Jacksonboro. Another one possibly for Walterboro. We'll zoom in a little bit. Ravenel. We got to watch this one very closely. This is gonna be coming ashore. And again, this is an assumed thing. This is this is an estimate. But if you got that tornado warning, if that tornado warning went off for you, it's time to be getting to a safe place. You've got a few minutes. You're not going to have a lot of time, but you've got a few minutes, and you should go ahead and get into that safe place now. Then I'm going to get something. I'm just going to get something out there real quick. I think we're all doing a little bit of typing right now. We've got a lot going on.
Well, with 2 tornado warnings on the board and my eyes glued on cameras, I can just show people the conditions right now. This is Business Highway 21 at Woods Memorial Bridge. So this would be closer to the Beaufort tornado warned cell, the first of the 2 that we currently have on the board. Not only can you see how much rain is coming down, but just watch the water that is being blown in. You can literally see the waves there. And that is really going to be quite telling in the days ahead as we continue to watch, as Jared alluded to before, an ongoing flooding threat. The tornadoes are what has our attention at this hour on Monday night, but it is that water that is going to be with us for days on end.
Yeah, absolutely. That is going to be the ultimate story. Again, we often see this. I mean, we had a tornado outbreak in the 2015 flood. Nobody remembers the tornado outbreak in the 2015 flood, but that was a thing that happened. So yeah, I mean, I think. Yeah, sorry, James. I can't type and talk at the same
That's
time.
Okay.
I wish I used to have that, but
well, we've got 2 warnings on the board, and as Jared and I have been telling you about, we have a network of cameras we've been looking at. Of course, if you see anything, if you're on X, formerly Twitter, you can tag Carolina WX Group. You can tag Charleston Weather. We'll take a look at any of those reports that are coming in. We did have that one confirmed tornado damage on Palmetto Boulevard earlier on Edisto Island, and we'll wait to see what these rotations are able to produce, Jared, as when you are now watching 2 different warnings on the board at 10:38.
Yep. So this one is just the Beaufort County warning has been allowed to expire. So Beaufort County off the board. You're good. You're good to go. So right now, the thing that I'm most concerned about is this. We've got 2 areas of rotation. One in central Colleton County, and then another one that's going to be approaching Seabrook here in the next 15 minutes. Seabrook, Kiwa. Really need all of y'all. If your phone went off with that tornado warning, you need to be in shelter now. It is crucial that you're in shelter, and a safe shelter is on the lowest possible floor of a building. Now, I know that we're at the coast, and so lowest floor is actually kind of difficult when everything's on stilts. So again, just getting to that interior room, that most interior room, away from windows. The key is to put as many walls between you and the outside as possible. And that's going to, and you'll be fine. You're going to be just fine, and you'll be able to come out before too long. But again, we've got this, we have this 2 circulations right now that are showing up on radar. One, about 10 miles south of Jacksonboro, and this is moving northwest at about 30. And then we have this second one that is arguably more impressive. That's making a beeline towards making a beeline towards Kiwa. I'll put it in motion right now. So Kiwa, you have a few minutes. If you know somebody on Kiwa Island, it is time for them to take cover. It really is time. It's time to go.
And I'll just mention to folks as Jared is typing, we are 10:40 here. We are expecting at the top of the hour an update from the National Hurricane Center on the latest track for Debby. So assuming we're still going to be here, and I think we will be, we'll have that coming to you in just the next few minutes when we expect a track update from the Hurricane Center. We expect a cone update, and the trend has been bringing the storm over the course of the next few days a little bit further to the west, closer to the I-77 corridor. So we'll wait to see what the forecasters in Miami decide to do with their human-made cone.
Yeah, I think it just came out, actually. So I just got a ping that the advisory is out. So James, if you want to ingest that, and I'll wrangle some naders here. And again, this is we've got 2 areas of circulation that are really of concern. I've got one that's just offshore, and this is the one, Kiwa. You need to be in shelter now. You really do. This is going to get very close to you, and this could be producing something. And then we have a second one here that's just south of Jacksonboro, and this is also moving to the northwest, rather, about 20, 25, 30 miles an hour. So again, central Colleton County, this is going to approach 17A. Walterboro, you're not in a tornado warning, but I would certainly, keep an eye on things. It is possible that we may see that we may get some of this instability to move in a little bit further. It's been a busy night. We have a nose of instability that's moving in, and this is helping us, keep this tornado threat going. So again, let me kill the telestrator real quick, and I want to put a storm track on. I'm really most concerned, honestly, if I'm concerned about anything right now. And again, we're watching it with multiple sources of radar here. I'm going to say that it's about 30 miles an hour to the northwest. And so again, if you are Kiwa Island, you've got about, I think 20 minutes is actually underselling it, honestly. I think it's going to be there well before then. Wadmalaw, Hollywood, Adams Run in the next half hour. Again, we've got definitely a fairly serious situation trying to unfold here, with a few tornadoes on top of the flash flood threat. So, so that's the thing I'm watching here. That's the thing I'm concerned about. And, we'll need folks to get into their shelter as soon as you can. I think it's, the next few minutes, you really should be in there. Don't want people, don't want anything to happen to y'all. So, I mean, at the end of the day, I don't want things to happen to y'all. So that's the bottom line, guys. I want you all to be safe. And I'm just looking at a couple other sources of information here. And I'm going to go back to my Tornado 4 panel on the other screen here. Well, we're going to track it here with the LifeScan tracker, but again, we're watching this extremely closely right now. This area circulation that is approaching Kiwa Island, and we have a second one that's south of Jacksonboro near Bennett's Point. And this is moving northwest. Now, I think if there's one positive to be taken from this at this time, is that there's no indications of any debris signature with the Jacksonboro storm. So that's good news. That's welcome. We don't want to see that, but we also want folks to be very careful about, we want folks to, be taking this seriously. This could drop a tornado at any moment. Tropical tornadoes, they go down and pick up just as quickly. You may remember the tornado that happened during Idalia in Goose Creek. It literally came down, said, I'm going to flip this car in particular, and then it lifted right up. So that's what these things do. That's what these things do. So again, we want folks to be taking it easy. Seabrook, Kiwa, Wadmalaw, I would say it's time to go. Let's get to where you need to be, and and we'll go from there. But again, right now, when I'm looking at, several sources of data here. We do not have a debris signature with the Bennett's Point storm, which is a very good thing. But we have very strong rotation indicated on radar. Again, with this circulation that is getting very near Kiwa now. So, again, I'm going to zoom in real tight. I need to make sure that I don't cover it with my head. We have a very, very close, got a circulation getting very close now to Kiwa Island. All right. So, James, if you want to, let's take a second. Let's talk through real quick the advisory, and then let's get back on this storm.
It sounds good, Jared. Will you wave me off if you need to take over sooner than I'm done? But this is the 11 o'clock update from the National Hurricane Center tracking Tropical Storm Debby, which still has maximum sustained winds of 45 miles an hour. The area of circulation right now over southeast Georgia after coming ashore earlier today as a Category 1 hurricane in Florida. What we are noticing in this 11 o'clock update from the Hurricane Center is that it's forecast to maintain its tropical storm strength as it comes ashore and makes a landfall then in South Carolina by the time we get to, wait for this, Thursday. It is Monday night now. This storm is going to slow down and linger off the coast of South Carolina for several days, where access to that water will forecast help maintain its tropical storm status. But take a look at that curve, almost a dog leg, if you will. These impacts could then linger over portions of the I-77 corridor in South Carolina, almost Everyone is in play here, and we'll show that to you in the forecast models in just a moment, because there is a bullseye first and foremost over the South Carolina coast and portions of the North Carolina coast for historic record-breaking rainfall. Jared's got a pink dot over Charleston. That is a 20 to 30 inch rainfall accumulation associated with this storm that could have devastating impacts. You could see the risk of flash flooding extends all along the coast and the I-95 corridor, and again, inland into almost every part of the Carolinas eligible for some sort of flash flooding. And yes, in fact, you could even see flash flooding from the storm up along the Mid-Atlantic and Northeast corridors. Real fast, before we get back over to Jared, I just want to show you where this storm is right now on radar, give you a big picture of not only what we are tracking with this storm, but also what we are tracking at this hour with the first onset of tornado warnings in South Carolina. As you can see, those outer bands already rotating into the region. The spaghetti models from tropicaltidbits.com, you can actually see why the Weather Service has done that same little kink dogleg back into the Carolinas, because this storm forecast to go back out over the Atlantic Ocean, hang out off of the coast of Charleston before coming back on shore. So many of the computer models right now in agreement. You can see it from the HRRR, the high rapid refresh resolution computer model here. This storm just spinning for days on end over a lot of the same areas, continuing to dump lots of rain. You can see the forecasted rainfall totals here skyrocketing real quickly along the South Carolina coast, and even coming as far inland as Anson County, North Carolina, just a short 45-minute drive from Charlotte, or even into the Triangle with upwards of 10 to 11 inches of rain. This is going to be a non-discriminatory rain event, Jared, with everyone getting flash flooding by the end of the week.
Yep, absolutely. And I know that we're spending a lot of time on tornadoes right now, and that's because the danger from tornadoes right now is most imminent. But it's important that we understand that the main event from this is going to be flooding. And right now we're watching to see, we have about 10 minutes now before we get something on shore here at Kiwa. This is very impressive circulation approaching Kiwa Island right now. Wadmalaw, you're going to get it probably 11:08. Hollywood, 11:16. Megat at 11:15. Adams Run, 11:23. And then eventually Ravenel at 11:19. This is staying generally to the this is going to stay to the west of most of Johns Island, but again, parts of Johns Island actually. Let me let me clear this real quick, and let me just let's start labeling roads. I think we're at that point where we need to start labeling roads, so let's do that. So again, it's let me just get real tight in there. So again, if you're thinking Surf Song Road, that's a road. Nesting Egret Drive. Here's River Road right here. So that's that's obviously a big Bohicket Road. Let's get some of the big ones here. Here's Highway 700, Maybank Highway, getting towards Wadmalaw. Betsy Carrison Parkway. I don't think I would rule that out either. And again, we have these roads up. This is there's your circulation. We've got your circulation right here. So again, we'll draw that circulation. Here's that circulation, and it is moving inland. It is making its way inland, and we will see if it develops something. There may be something down here. The other sources of radar that I'm using are indicating very strong shear, very strong rotation here. We'll be looking at the debris stuff here again, and that's not really useful right now. But if we look at the shear product, the rotation detection product, you can see there's a little bit of an uptick there. Let's go to gate, and that gives us a little bit more. You can see these kind of that. This helps us kind of identify that there's a maxima here as far as the rotation goes. So that is helpful. That's a helpful thing for that. We'll just go back to the traditional storm relative velocity display here, and we're going to hang with this. Once this starts coming ashore here, I think that'll be something to watch. So again, Kiwa Island Parkway, Kiwa Beach Drive. I think keep an eye out there. Mullet Hall Road, certainly something you want to watch out there. So again, we've got the we've got some problems potentially coming ashore here. The conditions are ripe, and again, we have a tornado warning. It is only for Charleston County now. It's moving northwest at 40 miles an hour, and this is going to continue until 11:15. So again, right now, this circulation, which we've been watching for a while, James and I have been uh, keeping an eye on this for a little bit. Um, and we had a feeling that this was going to cause a problem. And some folks for some folks I'm talking to, it's definitely, it's definitely a lot there. And we've already dealt with damage tonight in Edisto. Um, I really hate that. I hope everybody was able to get to shelter and is okay. There's no injuries, but I'm certainly concerned about those folks. And again, we may have another round of these trying to come ashore here very shortly now at Kiwa Island. So we're watching that. So a couple things, a couple questions that we've gotten here. And again, this is the only tornado warning in town at this point. Um, I'm taking another look just to make sure, and I think we're okay. Beaufort and Hilton Head had a couple run-ins earlier, but I think right now we're okay there. This is the one to watch. Um, this is the one. Let me. I don't know why that says. Hold on a second. You'll give me just a moment here. I apologize. I'm trying to get you all a good link. If you go to there's some folks on Instagram wondering where they can find us on YouTube and youtube.com/at Carolina Weather Group. If you also go to Carolina Weather Group Facebook page, it's the same simulcast there as well as the Charleston Weather Facebook page. So we're everywhere. We are omnipresent. You cannot escape us. And that's just the way this goes. So there's your circulation right here approaching Surf Song Road, Flyway Drive, Turtle Beach Lane here. Again, we're getting real zoomed in here. Green Dolphin Way, Sea Forest Drive. I mean, we're getting really zoomed in here. But again, if I'm calling out these streets, this is something to watch. And do you have a question? Is this headed towards Seabrook? This is going to get close. This is going to get close for comfort. Right now, I don't think that it's a direct threat to Seabrook, but Kiwa certainly. Kiwa is then getting over to a little sliver of Johns Island around River Road, Mullet Hall, Betsy Carrison Parkway, Behicket Road, and then getting into Maybank Highway, possibly near Wadmalaw. So again, we've got some, we got some stuff, guys. We need folks to be, doing what they need to do to take shelter right now. On that front. So again, I'm going to continue to try and find some additional main roads to call out. Bird's Nest Road, that's one. I mean, I could label roads here all day, but the bottom line here is that we have a very significant potential for tornadoes here, moving in from off the ocean here as part of this big feeder band that's coming in from Debby. That is going to be more of a flash flood threat than anything else. Once it's all said and done, we're gonna get a lot of water out of this. I'll zoom out just very briefly. Much of the Charleston metro is under a flash flood warning until 2:45 this morning, 2:45 in the morning. So that's going to be something that we're going to need to be cognizant of as well. I've gotten some questions around so Brownswood Road. Surprisingly, I think you're going to be okay. I'm not expecting this to be an issue for Brownswood Road per se. This is going to be more of an issue kind of where Maine turns into Bohicket, kind of getting closer to Wadmalaw than anything else. And then so again, Weather Service is calling out areas around Turtle Point Golf Course, Osprey Point Golf Course. But everybody on Kiwa needs to be taking cover immediately. This is now coming ashore. The circulation is coming ashore. I'm watching on several different sources of information. We'll we'll see shortly whether this is down. So again, if we're getting a lot of questions about specific streets, and I think the thing that I'm going to stress for folks is that if you got the tornado warning on your phone, you should be taking shelter. That we're able to call out some specifics here, based off of this. But at the end of the day, if you did get this tornado warning, you should be taking shelter and you should hang out for a little bit. We'll let you know when it's over. We'll let you know when that's moved past. But right now, this is it's important that if you got this warning that you're doing the right things and that you're taking shelter. So this is coming ashore now at Kiwa. The rotation is pretty strong, and we'll see shortly whether it's going to start lofting debris. That's a really nasty thing that we have to think about. This is going to be staying away from West Ashley. So we did get a question about this in West Ashley. This is staying away from West Ashley. But Wadmalaw, Kiwa, Seabrook, I think this is going to just miss. But yeah, so Edisto, we got some questions about Edisto and everything like that. You are good for the moment. You've already had a tornado. That is for sure. And then we have just kind of this is, so we got a question, is Folly Beach in the clear? No, I don't think you're in the clear yet on Folly Beach. We don't have a warning there, but again, there are additional, we've been kind of highlighting some additional circulations that have shown up. Let me put my telestrator back on real quick. And yeah, there's one, and here's the big one right now. There's at least a couple here, maybe a third one that may try to kind of nudge its way north. We'll see. But clearly the danger right now is on Kiwa Island. And we'll zoom back in. Clearly right over Kiwa Island right now. If you're in Ravenel, we've had a question about Ravenel. You've been clipped out of the warning. So Ravenel is no longer in the warning. Downtown Charleston is not in this warning. Downtown Charleston, this is not in this warning. So again, the places that we're calling out, Seabrook, you're going to be kind of on the edge of this. You're going to be pretty close. Kiwa Island here, River Road, Bohicket Road, Wadmalaw, just really just the main concerns here at this point are there. So again, we're watching this. So again, we have questions around, Daniel Island. Daniel Island, again, I think, right now you're okay. Right now you're okay. Here's Daniel Island. Here's our circulation. So we're okay right now. There are potentially additional circulations looming offshore. We're going to need to watch that closely. But right now, we're okay. The main concern is Kiwa Island around, and now getting towards Mullet Hall Road. Circulation on radar. It looks like there is debris. It looks like we do have a debris signature with this. So this tornado may be down. We may have a tornado down right now. That we may have a tornado down right now. I'm looking at this. It's hard to tell. Again, we've had a couple cases where we've had noise here, but everything lines up to where we may have debris on radar here. And let's switch to the debris view eventually. Once it loads, I don't know why it's not loading, but we'll get there. One more time. Once more with feeling. No, I guess that's not working. All right, let's try that again. All right, so here's a dropout in the correlation coefficient again. So we got another one of these here. We may have a tornado down. And they've crossed over Kiwa and now approaching River Road near Mullet Hall, Betsy Carrison Parkway, Bohicket Road. We may have, we may have significant. It looks like there's definitely the potential here for that. So the Weather Service is also agreeing that this is a debris signature. So the Weather Service agrees this is a debris signature. They're going to upgrade the warning accordingly. And so this is a tornado that is down. We have a tornado down North Kiwa Island, approaching Betsy Carrison Parkway right now. We have a tornado down. Yeah, this is a tornado that's on the, it's the worst thing. It's the worst thing. People cringe when you say it, but a tornado on the ground approaching River Road, Betsy Carrison Parkway, going to get towards Bohicket Road. Let me get a couple more roads here if I can get them to come up. This might get towards Rose Bank Plantation Road. It's going to, if it stays down, it could approach Bears Bluff Road near Maybank Highway. So again, we have a tornado on the ground. It is down right now. So again, this is serious business. You need to get into your shelter immediately. Rackley Hall Road, right here, Lazy Creek Lane. This is headed your direction. So again, if I called out those roads, we've got a tornado down on the ground right now. So again, this is a very serious situation for areas near Kiwa Island, around River Road, and parts of Johns Island. So again, we're kind of watching this. Looks like we've got, the data is a little bit noisy here right now. It's not quite as defined as it was with this latest sweep, but again, the warning has been upgraded to observed. So we have a tornado that is down, and we have to assume that it's down until otherwise notified. So again, if you're on Wadmalaw, you should be in your shelter now. Betsy Carrison Parkway, Bohicket Road, you should be in your shelter now. Let's go back to velocity. It's not looking as impressive, which is some good news there. That is a piece of good news. It may be trying to broaden out a little bit. And again, these are not making it very long. Once they get on land, they're lasting a little bit, but they're not making it too long. So, they're not surviving too far inland, it seems like, which is good in a sense, but not so good for those of us who are living on the coast, on barrier islands and things like that. That's not ideal. Certainly not ideal. So again, Maybank Highway, I think, we have a question about Maybank Highway. If you're Maybank Highway, kind of, to the southwest of Sosnowski Road, if you're southwest of Main Road, I would say that you've got something that you got to deal with here. Brownswood, something here that you're going to have to, I think you're going to be okay. But if you're, basically Maybank Highway south of Main Road, I would be in shelter right now. The circulation is directly over Mullet Hall and Betsy Carrison Parkway right now. There is a clear indication of rotation still showing up on radar. It's not as strong as it was. There still appears to be at least some debris that has been lofted. I'm not sure if it's actively lofting debris at this point. But we will see. We'll see what happens here. But again, folks, this is an urgent situation for folks in this area right now, and we need everybody to be paying attention and taking shelter appropriately. So let me do a couple things here. I'm going to and again, just getting some stuff out there for our Instagram folks to know. But yeah, we have had at least something. It does appear that something went down. Something did touch down on Kiwa. It looks like we don't know the extent of it yet. It's going to take a few minutes. We'll have to figure that out. But right now, again, if you're in this warning, if this is a tornado that's down, and again, most of Johns Island is okay. If you're a lot of Johns Island, Main Road kind of cuts down, kind of the center line. It's Main Road after all. But if you're northeast of Main Road, you're fine. Nothing here to worry about for you right now. This is more of an issue down towards Kiwa and Seabrook, Betsy Carrison Parkway heading on to Seabrook here. And again, I think if there's another bit of good news is that it looks like that the circulation is beginning to start to weaken a little bit more, which is really good news. Let's keep those vibes. Let's keep those vibes strong. But again, right now it looks like it's just crossed over Bohicket Road. Still some indication of a drop in correlation coefficient, which indicates that there could still be some debris, maybe a little bit of debris being lofted, and you can see the kind of the dropout right here. Let me telestrate for that for you guys. There's a dropout right here, and yeah, we've got just a ton going on, folks. Just a ton going on, and there's a tornado that could be down, and yeah, it's let me. I'm just checking on a couple things here. I'm getting some messages from folks, and I'm trying to do that. And uh, we have uh, we have a lot going on at the moment, as you can imagine. So we are just again, we're still working through this. What just happened here? Okay. So um, so yeah, so all right. So now that I've gotten all that sorted out, got those notifications handled here. Again, fast and furious, a lot going on. Um, a lot going on. Again, we're watching this area over Betsy Carrison right now. Um, let me clear the telestrator off. Let me turn the road labeler off for a minute here. Let's go back to velocity. And yeah, I think one bit of good news here is that this is definitely not as defined as it was. This is definitely not as defined as it was, which is good news. That's what we love to see. Looking at some different sources of radar, it looks like maybe even the debris signatures kind of faded out, which is good news. So this may be weakening. Fingers crossed. Let's hope for that. We're going to continue to watch it here for the next few minutes just to make sure that it doesn't tighten back up. But one thing that we have noticed with these storms, at least tonight so far, is that once they get on shore, they don't last very long. But we do believe that something has happened on Kiwa as well. There was evidence of a tornado down on radar. I don't have any reports yet, but we're going to be waiting for that. But there was a debris signature, a tornado debris signature that showed up on Kiwa earlier. So there, again, some concern there for Kiwa, absolutely. So let's so again, we got this tornado warning here, but this circulation is really starting to fall apart, and that's what we love to see. We love circulations that fall apart, and hopefully we can get this tornado warning out of here soon, so you don't have to deal with it anymore. But for now, we're gonna keep it going. We're gonna keep this going. Getting a new scan off of the radar right now, so let's see what it says. And yeah, not really too much that's impressive here. So it looks like the tornado warning is going to be allowed to expire. So it looks like the Weather Service is satisfied that the tornado threat is ending here, and they are going to allow this to expire. So that's really good news. That's what we love to see. And again, we'll keep you posted on what we hear off of Kiwa. Obviously, we've had damage earlier on Edisto. That's been confirmed. Storm chasers have been out there. They've documented this damage. We are. We're waiting to see what reports we get from Kiwa. It certainly seems like that something did touch down on Kiwa. We don't know the extent of that just yet. But we'll keep an eye on that. But again, it's gnarly out there, and it's just one of those things. But James, we're getting James back briefly. I know that he's just kind of listening in. He's got baby duties, so we're good there. Let him do his thing. He's just kind of hanging out there. It was a nice little bit of levity, honestly. Kind of needed that. So again, here's this big rain band that's moving ashore, and this is going to line up. This is not good, because this looks like this is going to line up and train right over downtown. We could, again, the green flashy thing here is a flash flood warning, and we are going to potentially see very, very, very heavy rain in a very short period of time fall over downtown. Um, so we need to watch that. Obviously, we need to watch that very closely for the next few hours as this whole thing lifts north. We'll go to the satellite radar composite real quick, and again, the tornado warning that's showing up on here has been allowed to expire, so that is really good news. So we'll be okay there. And again, I want to thank everybody who's given us super chat. We got Kate Camp with the $4.99 super chat, Ryan Harris with a $1.99 super chat. Thank you so much for that. That's awesome. So we're getting questions here. Is there still a tornado warning for Goose Creek? There was never a tornado warning for Goose Creek. So there was never a tornado warning for Goose Creek. You're under tornado watch. So there is a tornado watch that continues until at least 1 a.m. Probably will be extended. But right now, there has been no tornado warnings in Berkeley County. Breathe. All right. So as you can see here, we have the circulation of Debby in southeastern Georgia. Feeder bands lining up, getting ready to take aim on downtown with a lot of rain here, folks. And again, there's going to be a lot of rain here. We're still looking to see if there's any additional circulations that we've got to deal with too, which is a possibility. So it looks like we're going to get some additional data in, and there are a couple things out there that we're going to probably want to keep an eye on over the next little bit. So I'll get out the old telestrator again. And so there's one circulation here. Here's two circulations. There's another one out there. And so we'll need to keep an eye on these. And so these are going to be more for our friends on James Island, potentially downtown, Johns Island partial. Johns Island, certainly you're not out of the woods here yet. There's another circulation just where the special marine warning is. There's another circulation south of Edisto that we'll have to keep an eye on. So again, we're not through this yet. We're not done yet. We're gonna be in this for a little bit, and again, there are additional tornado warnings are certainly possible. So again, this is a good opportunity while we're briefly in a lull, that you'll want to make sure that your phones you're able to hear your severe weather warnings, the tornado warnings blowing up your phone. I know that we usually hate that, but this is but nocturnal tornadoes, this is exactly when you want that thing. This is exactly when you want that. So make sure that's turned on. We still have the risk for we still have we still have the risk for flash flooding. That's going to be a much more widespread issue. So again, folks, we're going to be watching that closely. Now, the tornado warning has ended. I am still keeping an eye on Wadmalaw over Maybank on Wadmalaw, or Bears Bluff rather at this point. There certainly seems to be, still some rotation aloft that we're watching on Wadmalaw. There's no formal warning for this yet. We need to keep an eye on this. So we will keep an eye on this. Right now, nothing from the Weather Service, on this thing trying to retighten. But it has tried to reorganize in the last couple scans. So again, if you're on Wadmalaw, if you're in Hollywood and Ravenel, I'd be a couple steps away from shelter in the short term here. I don't like what I'm seeing on the velocity picture here. So we'll definitely have to keep an eye on that. I'm watching that closely and again, there's a lot here that we're going to watch, but right now over Bears Bluff and Harts Bluff Road, I'm a little not sure how I feel about it right now. So we're going to want to keep an eye on that. Definitely there. So again, right now there are no active tornado warnings. I think that's the good news. We still have a special marine warning for waterspouts, and we're going to be watching several circulations over the next couple hours as they try to come ashore. So again, let's call them out. One circulation here south of Edisto. This may make a run. This is making a run for potentially Edisto Beach again if it holds up. We'll see. There's a second one that looks like this. If it holds up, this might, if there's a tornado warning on James Island, this might be the culprit. We're not saying that it is the culprit. We're not saying that that there is a warning right now, but this is something that we're going to want to keep an eye on. And small little circulations that just, with these tropical tornadoes, they pop up, they spin down super fast. So we've gotten the question, and this is a great question. I've got the question on Instagram. Are there going to be tornado threats all night? And right now, I mean, for the next several hours, yeah, we're in it to win it. Once this ban lifts north of the area, we should be able to breathe a little bit on the tornado threat. But again, this tornado watch goes until at least 1 a.m. It will probably be extended further up. So again, this is going to be one of those nights where you want to keep your weather radio close and make sure that you keep that, just keep everything, kind of close by, and that you're able to take action if a warning is issued. Still not thrilled with this Wadmalaw thing. I'm going to be honest. I'm still not totally thrilled about it. So I'm going to keep an eye on it, but there's no indication that there's any damage being done or anything like that, but I'm going to keep an eye on that. And again, we're going to let the Weather Service issue the warnings here. So that's their job. They do it better than anybody else. They've had a hard day. They've had a hard day over there, and it's just going to get, even tougher for the night shift there. So spare a thought, will you? It's a little nutty. So right now, again, the main concern, let me go back to the reflectivity view here. Well, we have a minute to just look at rain. Let's just talk about rain. I'll set this into motion here, and you can see this. You can see the train of rain. It's trying to get its act together here. And James, you've got a weather stem camera up, it looks like, and is this the Beaufort one?
Yes, Jared.
Yep. So watching that, I think we saw some lightning strikes on it. So there's some pretty good lightning there, and we're going to be watching lots of different cameras here over the next little bit. And again, we have flash flood warnings out. But yeah, you got a big band of rain that's taking aim right on downtown Charleston. So this is pretty gnarly. There's a lot of rain in this. Let me go get the I'll go get the precipitation estimates right now, because again, that has been that's been eye-opening. The precipitation estimates have been rather eye-opening, and this is just the past hour. So I'm going to show you, just the past hour here, and then start labeling some things. So Wadmalaw, 1.3 inches of rain here. We got a near almost 2 spot in Colleton County. And again, these are radar estimates. This is not necessarily gauge calibrated. Let me, James, we got a good question about the weather radio bands there. If you want to, can you grab that if you get a second? I don't know the answer off the top of my head. I don't remember the frequency off the top of my head, but there's a website. If you go to the Weather Service's website, weather.gov/NWR, I think, it will show you, if you put in your zip code, it'll show you the closest band to use. And that's a great question, and hopefully everyone's good. But at this point, if you're on Kiwa, you're probably okay for the moment to come out of your tornado shelter. We don't have any active tornado warnings on Kiwa now. There's still some circulations that we are contending with that are out there at the moment. So again, we're continuing to watch this, and we're keeping a close eye on things. But right now, right now we'll see. That's just kind of where we're at. We'll see. But yeah, there's nobody. I would say, Wadmalaw was calling out that, area of rotation, trying to spin back up a little bit. It was not rewarned. I think you're okay. I think, stay close, but I think you were okay. the concern is going to continue to be any of these small circulations within the line, and yeah. So here's the let me just do that, and then yeah, let's pull up this while we've got a lull. Yeah, let's pull this up. So this is the national, this is the weather radio transmitters for South Carolina. And this is so there's several here. If you're in the Charleston metro area, usually the one that most people use is Ondaw. There's Beaufort at 162.450, if I can read that correctly. But KHB 29 on Ondaw is the one that is the one that a lot of people use here. Sorry to get out of frame there. Whoops. But you can see that's the coverage map there. So again, weather.gov/NWR. You can punch in your location and you can find the weather band that you should be using. It's a really good idea. So we're getting questions about the tornado risk here, and I want to let's take a minute and take a look at our watches, because we remain under a tornado watch. Tornado watch remains in effect until 1 a.m. at least. This is this is just the situation. It covers the entire Tri-County area down well through the Low Country, pretty much the entire Low Country under a tornado watch until 1 a.m. And this may be extended. If I had to guess, it will probably be extended. So we'll need to keep an eye on that, obviously very closely for that. So I don't think that there are tornado sirens. We did have a question about tornado sirens. Never rely on tornado sirens. Don't do that. Don't rely on tornado sirens. I don't think we have them, but if we did, don't rely on them. Again, you want that weather radio, you want your phone, you want those things that'll tell you, will give you more information than that siren simply will. And a lot of the sirens are only designed to be heard outside. They're not designed to be heard indoors. So just something I'm going to make sure that folks are aware of here. Let's put the lightning display back on. And again, we've had people, writing in, talking about, they're hearing, a good bit of thunder and lightning and things like that. And again, now the main concern is turning to this guy right here, this band of rain that is taking aim on downtown Charleston. The rain rates in this are excessive. The rain rates in this are going to be excessive. I don't know how else to put it. Is this the ETV camera in West Ashley?
Yes, it is, Jared.
Oh, how do I know that? That's impressive. I'm going to pat myself on the back for that one. But yeah, you can see it's raining. As Ollie might say, it's raining sideways. And that is, that's quite a thing. And again, that's this band that's coming ashore right now. So again, we have significant rainfall coming ashore into this flash flood warning area. Somerville, Charleston, downtown, West Ashley, Foley, Johns Island, those areas. That's where we're at this point. I mean, that's the situation. And this is starting to take aim now. And this is going to train over downtown, potentially for the next hour or two. And we could see some very significant rainfall on the order of several inches very quickly there. So again, a lot of flooding could be starting to happen. That's why we have this flash flood warning in effect. You shouldn't be traveling at this point. If you're in the Charleston metro area, you shouldn't be traveling at this point unless you absolutely have to. If you're an essential worker, I get it. Totally understand. That's a situation where, not much you can do about that. And we need folks to keep the roads clear for those essential workers. And we need folks to keep the roads clear for first responders. Don't be the reason a first responder has to come get you, is the thing that we're asking here on that. So again, just a lot of rain. We're taking a look from the College of Charleston now, downtown. That's going to get active in a hurry. Um, I do believe so. Again, right now, I think folks are joining us saying that they joined us seeing the title tornado warning, and well, there's no tornado warning at the moment, but we are watching this. And I wanted to take a second here to call out a super chat. We had a $10 super chat, I believe it was from the Crowdsource Rescue guys. So from old friends of the Carolina Weather Group. They're a disaster response nonprofit out of Texas, and they helped out during Florence, which was another one of these stalling storms that affected more in the PD and Charleston. That was not an issue for us, but it was certainly an issue for our friends, up the road there. So again, many thanks to Crowdsource Rescue for that $10 super chat. That was awfully generous, awfully kind. We really appreciate the kind words there. So again, this is all coming ashore right now. We're downtown. The flash flood risk is going to increase markedly downtown with this very shortly, and yeah, I think the term is "laud." It's coming or something like that. I think that's what they say. It's coming, but it's definitely on the way here, and uh, the rain rates in this are going to be fairly intense. I'm just looking at some other sources of radar information here, which we like to do. I have multiple sources of radar information up pretty much at all times. So I'm just kind of scanning some things. So we're starting to get into the range where we're seeing storm totals now in the southern tip of Charleston County, where this band has been 6 inches, and a lot of that, um, is coming in there. Um, so that's funny. I did it for you for your super chat. I did it for you. Um, we do have a rain report. 5.10 inches of rain so far since this morning, about 5 miles south of Somerville. That's impressive. Again, the forecast is for 20 to 25 to 30. And we still have another about 15 to 20 inches to go. So that is something that we want to watch. And again, I can't type and talk at the same time. But again, we're getting a lot of heavy rain reports right now. Getting questions about James Island again. Should we be worried on the left side closer to Johns for the tornado? And right now, again, I want to stress that there's no active tornado warnings. However, we have been watching circulations offshore. Go back to storm relative velocity. I think the good news is that there's not really seeing the some of the things I was seeing, which is awfully nice. There's still a conga line of weak rotation that's approaching Folly Beach, but there's nothing out here right now that's worrying me too much. However, that being said, you want to make sure that you are taking the necessary precautions. We want to make sure that you are getting into that. Make sure that you have that shelter ready to go. Make sure that you're able to hear those warnings. Make sure that you're able to act on them. Do that. I think that's going to be okay. So again, I don't know that I would say that the tornado activity is necessarily slowing. We do have that question as well. I don't know that it's we're certainly in a small lull right now, which is nice, and I would love to stay in this lull, but we don't know what that's going to do. We have a report of 3.1 inches of rain downtown since this morning at another personal weather station. So I mean, we're getting we're getting a lot of rain reports starting to come in, and it's been a wet day. We've set a record. The airport, we're gonna blow up that record. We're gonna blow up the record that we set earlier at the airport. It's gonna start pouring. It's probably pouring outside. I can't hear it because of my in ears, but um, I uh, I think that we're definitely have got definitely Mother Nature is doing her thing tonight, and it's not pretty. It's just one of those things. It just isn't pretty. Uh, yeah, I'm looking for any additional signs of rotation lingering offshore. There is one that is getting close to Paris Island, There's no warning on it yet. There's a special marine warning, but there's not a tornado warning. So we'll see. We'll see what happens there. But this is a yeah. So this is a really good question here for Becca over on Facebook. Do you think tornado risk is greater for the coast rather than inland? And should Somerville be concerned for tornado risk through the night? You are under a tornado watch. So I'm going to say that, yes, the risk is certainly greater at the coast. I think that is, I think that is definitely what we have seen so far tonight, is that the risk is greater at the coast. However, you are under a tornado watch. I'd just respect that. I would just respect that. Just keep that weather radio close. And so that's that's just the long and short of it. So again, if you're under a tornado watch, we want folks to be ready for that potential. If that tornado watch changes, we'll keep an eye on it. Let's take the weather stem camera. This is the ETV weather stem. We'll take that full. We had and you can see, I mean, it's pouring. It is absolutely pouring. I'm going to take my in-ear out. Can't really hear it here. That's disappointing. I want to hear a good downpour. So I want to hear a good downpour. But yeah, that's what it looks like there. Let's get a look at downtown Charleston here, from the camera on top of the Bell South building, looking off towards campus, off to the east here, and you can see plenty of rain, a lot of water there tonight. Yeah, whoa! Now that's a nice little bit of lightning there. That was a really good lightning flash, and we've had quite a few lightning flashes this evening. This is very vigorous convection, and the lightning and thunder will certainly bear that out. So certainly something there that we'll keep an eye on. So got a question about, got a question here. My aunt lives in Hollywood. How is it there? Well, so far, so let's go up to Hollywood real quick, and then I want to get back to offshore of Edisto here. We may have something trying to do something here, and I'm not too need it to behave, but sometimes you just can't get what you're going to get. And looking at, we're going to zoom in here. So here's Hollywood right now. You're going to be in the rain for a little bit. Got some very heavy rain just off to the west. And again, this is all going to be moving in over the next little while. So Hollywood, you've got rain issues. You're going to have some rain for the next little bit, for a while. Again, flash flood warning is out in here until at least 2:45 a.m. We'll see if that gets extended. And we'll go from there. So, all right. Well, it's certainly been quite an evening so far. And again, we'll zoom out a little bit more, and just so you see all the flash flood warnings, all the green polygons here. There's just a ton of flash flood warnings. Set that into motion there, and we're really starting to get a rain train right over downtown. This is going to be a concern now. I think we're going to start to see some significant flooding begin to take shape downtown Charleston. Again, flash flood warning is out. That was a proactive move by the Weather Service several hours ago, to give everybody time to understand that it's coming. And it is, it's not good. It just isn't good. There's a lot we're going to have to deal with. Give me just a second, y'all. I'm gonna toot something. Really appreciate everybody's patience here as we go along here. Again, I think the good news is right now is that there's no active tornado warnings. We're going to keep an eye on this. We do have some areas near pop up in the velocity here. There's some weak rotation that is showing up kind of near Paris Island. We'll have to keep an eye on that. There may be some weak rotation trying to survive along this little sheer area that's approaching Folly Beach. But we do not have any active tornado warnings right now. The warnings that you see up on the screen, the blue warnings, those are special marine warnings, and that is to account for the potential for water spouts. So I just put something out there. Yeah, so out there here. So yeah, so again, let me get the YouTube there. So yeah, it's been quite an evening. We have a question about Savannah. I would normally be sarcastic and say this isn't the Georgia weather route, but but I mean, hey, we're all here to, we're all here in the name of weather. So let's talk about Savannah. And again, Savannah, you're under a flash flood warning. There's been numerous issues in Chatham County this evening. The Weather Service office in Charleston also covers Chatham County, so I kind of learned about this stuff via osmosis. You have a lot of heavy rain moving through. And you are still under a tornado watch. So, something to keep in mind there. The center of Debbie is getting awfully close at this point. There's the kind of that broad circulation there, and we'll we'll fire up the we'll fire up the let's see here. Yeah, let's fire up the satellite radar perspective here. Let's zoom out. Let's just take it. Let's just take this far out and show you kind of what we're dealing with. And there's Debbie. That's Debbie in all her glory. And I wonder if Debbie is starting to make a move to try and get offshore again. We'll pull up the Hurricane Center fix for Debbie here and filter that and turn on active systems, and let's just get the forecast cone and the forecast out. You can see this forecast is wacky. This is wacky. But there's Debbie. Center of Debbie is near Brunswick. You have multiple flash flood warnings going in much of Georgia right now. Southeast Georgia, Savannah area has been particularly hit hard. No imminent tornado threat for Savannah, thank goodness, but certainly something that they remain under a tornado watch this evening. A big band of rain heading into Charleston right now. So there's Debbie. Debbie is forecast to kind of drift north and drift offshore, and it's going to stay. And it's going to kind of meander here. It's going to take it looks like it's going to take a turn and then perhaps head towards Georgetown before getting mercifully out of here by the end of the week. I can't wait to see this storm go. I feel, oh my goodness, while we're here, I had somebody named Debbie, spelled the same way, react sad to my Facebook story about the Storm Debby, and I felt really, really, really bad. So, it's I felt really, really, really bad. So yeah, think of the Debbies in your life right now. They're not having a good time. They're not having a good time at all. But yeah, so here's a track, and again, it does not look like that this is going to be able to recurve. It's just not going to be able to escape. We have the Bermuda high that's going to push it back towards the coast. Then it's going to get picked up by a trough and then accelerated out of here. And I can't wait for that. I'm ready for that. So there you go. But yeah, let's go. Let's go back to reflectivity here. Let's set it to. Let's go back to default, and we will zoom in down here around Beaufort and Edisto. And right now you have a lot of rain, but it does not appear to be any rotation on radar, which is good news. There's some weak little things still showing up way out there, but right now, so far so good. There are no active tornado warnings. No active land-based tornado warnings. We do have these special marine warnings that are continuing because there's probably been a ton of water spouts tonight, if I had to guess. The instability axis is continuing to push northward, and I'm taking a look at just some of the mesoanalysis here real quick on another screen, and as one does, it looks like the significant tornado parameter is beginning to back off a little bit. I think we're starting to see some surface-based convective inhibition. So there's a cap that's forming, and I think that is going to overland, and so I think that is going to help maybe tamp down on a more widespread tornado threat. But the watch is going to continue. yeah, the watch is going to continue, but I think, and that's good news. We don't want that, but we don't want to see any more land-based tornadoes tonight. We've already had one on Edisto that did damage. We've already had one on Kiwa that did damage. I'm waiting to see what kind of reports we can get out of there. We have seen videos and photos of damage on Edisto from a tornado this evening. That has been, basically confirmed. The Weather Service is probably going to go out and survey it maybe tomorrow. I don't know how they're going to do it. Hopefully they find a lull in the rain to get that done, but they're going to look at it. So here's the deal. Again, right now, nothing too. I'm not really alarmed. Let me put it this way: I'm not really too alarmed by much right now. There is a small bit of rotation off of what looks like Paris Island that we'll need to continue to keep an eye out for anybody who's on tonight from Beaufort. And there are some kinks in the line that is as we go back to reflectivity here that are approaching Folly Beach. And again, this fire hose of rain is really starting to take aim. Folly Beach, Wadmalaw, Johns Island, parts of West Ashley now. All right, so yeah, let's go to let's take College of Charleston camera full again, and we've seen some pretty impressive lightning here as we start to get that band there. So we'll do that. So I have a couple questions on how you can tell where rotation is. And so hearing that, all right. So yeah, so it sounds like there's a lot of calls for help on Kiwa for emergency services. So I think that answers some of the question there. We have a report, maybe multiple homes damaged on Kiwa. Try and find some specifics on that, but yeah, so that's an issue. So let's do a little radar meteorology here while we have a second. So how am I looking for rotation? That's a really good. There's a couple ways that I do this, but the thing that I look for here is you're looking for wind that is going away from the radar, which is the red, next to wind that is moving towards the radar, which is the green. So let me illustrate this here. So this is the Doppler view, the Doppler radar. This is the wind part, and see that little red, and so that's the wind going that way. And then a little bit of bright green here, that's the wind going that way. And when you have them kind of tighten together here, that's the potential where you may have something spinning, something trying to spin. And so we do see something very weak off of the coast of Paris Island at this point. We'll see. Again, these have not survived very long, and that's good news. But again, we have a couple spots here where we could still see a little bit of rotation there, but that's how we tell. We also have some products to help us. Let me go to the gate-to-gate shear product, and this the brighter greens can kind of tell us where there might be a little bit more in the way of rotation there. And you can see, if we're using this, rotation detection product while we're here, you can see there's a few like little, like a couple maximus here, a few maximus here, and this is where probably the most likely that we have a little bit of a they call it gate to gate shear. I won't get into why they call them gates, but basically the long story short, wind going towards, wind going away, and that's how we can tell. And then we have the ability to use radar also now to detect debris being lofted. So some really cool technology in the radars these days. Pretty impressive for something that was invented, that was put into service in basically brought up to speed in 1988. So we're getting a lot of value out of these, that's for sure. And my nose itches, so I'm very itchy right now. I think I just haven't had a chance to get back to allergy pills. So okay. So let's go to let's just take a look here. I'm waiting to see if again a couple spots here off of off of Beaufort County that I'm a little bit concerned about. East of the Broad, we have the kinks in the line, kind of at the leading edge of the line here. That's approaching Seabrook, but right now there's not anything that's standing out to me severe. There are a couple water spouts, perhaps outside of the range of where the Weather Service has responsibility. Yeah, So there you go, guys. I mean, this is so but we're really starting to get concerned about the rain. And this is where the rain is setting up. Right now, putting this radar back into motion, you can see that rain band is really starting to get into Charleston now proper. There's some very heavy rain rates in this thing. There's some very heavy rain rates here. There's some very, there's some concerning things from the hydrological side. And again, you see this flashing polygon means that there's a flash flood warning. This flash flood warning goes until 2:45 in the morning. And we are continuing to monitor for any impacts there. Let me see here. Got some rain totals. The Weather Service has been compiling some rain totals here. Let me see what I can find. We have a station in Charleston that's gotten over 3 inches. We have another station in Charleston that's gotten 4 inches. Station in Ravenel's gotten 4.1 at 9 inches, almost 4.20 inches. Ace Basin 4, several reports here, 4 inches. The airport's up to 3.72 inches. And again, we've already set a record at the airport today, so we're just adding on to that record. We're adding on to that record pretty well, actually, at this point. Yeah. So we've got that going on, and that's always entertaining. But a lot of rain, and we have a lot of rain to come. So again, folks, this is we've got a few days of this. This is going to be a marathon, not a sprint. I hope you've got the things that you need. It's going to be a little bit difficult to, it's going to be a little bit difficult to start getting places here in a little bit. So, programming note: I know that James is still listening in the background and is going to probably want to, get me off of here. So we're gonna go ahead and cut the stream at midnight. So we're gonna hang out here a few more minutes. I just want to see how things evolve. But we're gonna move our coverage back towards chswx.com, social media, Mastodon, Blue Sky, Facebook, Instagram, X, Twitter. It's called Twitter. Still Twitter. As you can see, I'm getting loopy. So we still have some questions around some of these spots off of Folly, and I think they're. I want to we'll go back to our shear product here, and again they're weak. I mean there's that's kind of a lower resolution one. It's pretty weak. The shear here is pretty weak. So again, I don't have really much of a concern right now for immediate tornadic activity in the metro. I haven't seen anything. It doesn't seem like there's any concerns with the Weather Service here. So we'll see. We'll see how this goes. We will see how this goes. Let me do reflectivity. But right now I don't see anything here that I'm too concerned about. So, the thing that I'm concerned about right now is the rain, the very, 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 very heavy rain that's currently falling on James Island, is moving into the Charleston metro. We'll zoom in on that here. Folly, you're just getting absolutely, you're getting hammered, and not in the fun way right now on Folly. Wadmalaw, now you're getting the rain part of it. We had a tornado come through here earlier. That's a concern. So again, what is considered the metro? Well, everything on the screen here. This is the Charleston metro area. This is the whole thing on the screen here. Charleston, Goose Creek, Hanahan, North Charleston. I would say Moncks Corner qualifies here. Folly, West Ashley, Mount Pleasant. I would say that all of that counts. But yeah, we have this very, very strong band of rain that's moving ashore here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the WeatherStem camera here. I'm going to kind of zoom this out a little bit. I'm going to swap me for this. So we've got we're going to keep our webcams going on the bottom of the screen here, so you can see some of the lightning some of the lightning going on. And again, we have some very, very heavy pockets of rain that are moving ashore at Folly Beach right now. Pounding rain. I think that's a really, really good way to put it. When we get the, when I'm looking at the precip estimates here, here's the, oh, those are wind gusts. I'm not really worried about, wind gusts are another thing that we'll have to deal with. But yeah, just the past hour, zooming in on Folly, and this is where really the rain is, and it's really just started here. I think that's the other thing too that we want to keep in mind, is that this is just started. As you can see, some impressive lightning strikes, some impressive lightning on the College of Charleston camera just beneath there. And so yeah, so we're already looking at 1.5, 1.7, some spots. It looks like it just updated. Maybe getting into the 2 inches, 2 inches an hour here easily already. Over an inch of rain, Johns and James, getting into West Ashley, approaching another inch of rain. So we got a lot here, and there's a lot to come. I'll zoom it out a little bit. We'll clear this, and I want to go to the storm total, because that's where the estimates there are going to be even somewhat more concerning. And you can see the storm total rainfall here. Zoom it out a little bit more, get a little bit more of the low country into this, and you can see, we've got a 7.4 inches there, 4.2, 3.9. This seems to be, going pretty well. Wind speeds on JI, I don't have a good source for that immediately available. On Folly Beach, we have east northeast sustained at 18. Let me get my wind alert out actually, and I can take a peek at this. And so yeah, so this is so these rain estimates are impressive. And that's just the bottom line. I mean, these rain estimates are impressive. Let's see here. Just grabbing some, just trying to grab some data here, and give me just a moment. I will eventually figure out how this works. All right, so we have, I'll just read these off here. Isle of Palms Pier is currently gusting to 44. 36 miles an hour sustained, 36 miles an hour sustained. Folly South End, gust to 63. Gust to 63 at Folly South End right now. That's quite impressive. That is quite impressive. Gust to 63 there. We have a weather station in the French Quarter that's gusting to 38. We have Fort Sumter is gusting to 36. Plum Island is gusting to 33. So Folly South End is taking the cake right now. 63 mile an hour wind gust at Folly South End, according to the Weather Flow Network, the Weather Flow Tempest Network there. So we're definitely getting some impressive winds with these as they move in. So again, we'll switch back to reflectivity, put it back here a little bit. We're going to be here just for a few more minutes, just continuing to watch this. And again, we have that really nasty feeder band moving in, and this is going to bring some very strong wind gusts. And there was a question about power outages, and I want folks to understand that we're going to have quite a bit of wind here. We've had a lot of rain. It's not going to take as much wind to bring trees down. So yes, power outages are going to be a thing. Power outages are going to be something that we're going to have to deal with. Not everybody. A lot of you will keep your power, and that's great. Some people may lose power for days, and that's an unlucky few. I don't expect to see these really strong gusts to go too far into the metro, but 50 miles an hour is not out of the question. So again, I want folks to be ready for power outages tonight too, and that's why I've been kind of emphasizing. Make sure you have your phones charged. Make sure that you have, you're listening for the warnings, maybe with the radio too. And so that's just what we want to do. So we have a new special marine warning that's come out here to cover the risk for water spouts there. This is now on basically the East Cooper side of things. really up towards the end of the Charleston County waters. So uh, as the line of storms continues to lift north, individual cells may still try to spin something up, but it looks like the best axis of shear and instability is lifting out and maybe beginning to certainly is not as impressive as it was, which is good news. We still have a couple. We have a couple spouts that are pretty far out there. Uh, get the telestrator, and again, talking about the rotation. The red is the wind away, the green is the red towards, and so we have a little. We call it a velocity couplet. Um, there we have one, out there again. This is all embedded in the line, and there's little kinks in the line here from time to time, but nothing that's really standing out to me as anything that is terribly concerning. Um, we have, there is, going to be a bit of some kinks in the line, a bit of rotation with these at times. But again, I think we're getting to the point now in the evening where we may be starting to see over land, we're starting to see some stability take shape, and so a lot of these are becoming elevated storms. So, and that's not going to let some of these tornadic circulations have a really easy chance to get down. So, we'll see. That's certainly something that we're going to want to be aware of here as time goes on. But you oh, I messed up my telestrator. Oh well. Messed up my telestrator button. That's great. Sorry. Can you tell it's getting late? Yeah, it's getting late. So anyway, oh, that's funny. All right. So again, I think the question continues. I think the main question here that I think if we're gonna hold on a second, and then we're just going to clear that. And I'm going to switch us. I'm going to take us back out to the wide view here. Again, we don't have any active land-based tornado warnings, but what I want to show everybody is the weather watches, and we still have a severe. We have a tornado watch in effect. I don't know why that's saying. There we go. We have a tornado watch that's still in effect until 1 a.m. and for the entire low country. The entire low country is under a tornado watch until 1 a.m. So with that in mind, yes, the tornadoes still are a concern. And, and that's something that we're going to need to watch over the next few hours as this band lifts northward. We're going to have another round of, very heavy rain this evening. So again, and overnight. So it's going to be one of those nights where we've got, there's just a lot that we're going to have to deal with. And, hopefully nothing too crazy, but hopefully we've gotten through the crazy. I really I know we don't want to deal with that as long as we don't have to, but again, the attention is going to turn towards once again the attention is going to turn towards the risk for flash flooding, and we have this flash flood warning in effect. That's going to continue until 2:45 and maybe extended depending on what happens with this here. So there was a Mescale discussion that said a new tornado watch was likely. Let me, yeah, that's a, yeah, I think that, let's see here. Just reading this discussion. Thanks to Trad in the chat on YouTube for that. Yeah, so a new tornado watch is likely, and yeah, so it's very likely that we're going to get another watch to replace that. So again, we'll keep an eye on that. As we're, and as we go here, and I'm going to probably have to restart out of that. But to this point, y'all, and to this point, I think the main takeaway here is that we'll want to stay alert tonight. We're going to want to stay weather aware tonight, right? We're gonna want to make sure that that we're listening in, that we are, that we're paying attention. I think that's the most important thing that we can do. And if we do that, I think we're doing we're doing what we need to do. And let's just keep an ear out. As far as staying awake, I think that staying awake is I think it's up to you, honestly. I never recommend people sleep deprive themselves. What I do recommend is that people have ways to wake up. So that is so I do recommend that people have ways to be woken up, and that goes for everybody in everybody in the Low Country, everybody under the tornado watch, until at least 1 a.m. and probably going to be extended. So there you go. So that's what we want you to do tonight. If I know that it's tough to sleep with this stuff around. I get it. How do you think I feel? I mean, I'm gonna be in that exact same boat here. But I think we just got to make sure that if we're just keeping an ear out, but let's also not worry too much. I think there's a fine line, and so I want everybody to be feeling prepared, not scared. And yeah, we're gonna get through it. But yes, lots of rain tonight. Continued possible tornado threat. Again, I've got numerous bots out there that'll let you know. Follow CHSWX everywhere on social media. Have that out there. And for a very tired James Briarton who wants me to get the heck out of here, I'm going to go ahead and do that. So again, for James up in Charlotte, many thanks to him tonight for hopping on and helping out. I'm Jared Smith in Charleston. Take care and get some sleep. And